5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. Well, not to worry, says NASA, as an asteroid more than 17 football fields long is headed toward us on April the 29th. Well, our solar system is actually littered with asteroids and comets, and yes, some come close to Earth. Well, just how close will this asteroid come to Earth? Next on About Space Today. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. Welcome back. Paul Chadosis is the director of NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies and says not to worry.
Well, this is an asteroid that we've been tracking for over 20 years, and we've been predicting this close approach for a long time. It's one of the larger near-Earth asteroids, and so it's kind of notable. It's around 2 to 3 kilometers in diameter, maybe 1.5 to 2 miles across. So that makes it pretty significant, but it's passing pretty far away. It's passing about 4 million miles away from the Earth. So it's very distant close approach, but it's notable because it's one of the larger ones.
Well, it's important that we find these asteroids as far out in time as we can, 20 years for this particular one, because the more time that we have to determine whether the asteroid is on a trajectory that could impact the Earth, the more time we will have to prepare for that and perhaps do something about it, be able to launch missions to deflect the asteroid off of that impacting trajectory. We have to find them early as we can, so that we've got the time to select the right option and do the right mitigation measures to prevent the impact, if at all possible.
But how often do asteroid close approaches happen? And are they something to worry about?
No, they happen almost every day because there are just so many near-Earth asteroids. But the vast majority of them are really far away, so they're not that close in human terms. For astronomers, they may be, close. 1 million miles is pretty close for an astronomer. But and there are a lot of small asteroids. I mean, really tiny asteroids, which can pass like inside the moon's orbit and come pretty close. But these ones are so tiny, even if they were headed for the Earth, which they're not, they would burn up in the atmosphere. So there's these two, categories. Most of them are really distant, close approaches. They're not that close at all. And then there's a whole bunch of really, really small ones that we're tracking that are really not hazardous to the Earth if they should happen to hit the Earth.
How many of us knew that NASA had a planetary defense coordinator? Well, he is Lindley Johnson, and what does he do?
Well, as NASA's Planetary Defense Officer and in charge of the Planetary Defense Coordination Office, I oversee the agency's program and all the projects that we have for detecting, tracking, and characterizing the near-Earth objects, but also in developing plans for what we would do if a asteroid was detected to be on a impacting trajectory with the Earth. So the word coordination in our name is very important, because NASA will not do it all. NASA will work with other U.S. Government agencies like the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, and even the Department of Homeland Security to develop the government's response to a potential impact threat. But we also work internationally as well. We work with our colleagues in the European Space Agency, the Japanese Space Agency, and even Russia and the Chinese, in looking at what we would do as a world space-capable nations to respond to a potential impact threat.
After that, heads up and keep watching the skies. About Space will continue to follow the reports of asteroids and comets that come close to Earth. Join me and Don Meyer, our Space Coast news editor and a 28-year veteran of the Space Shuttle program, for the Splashdown of Crew 1 on Saturday at 11:25 a.m. on Twitch TV. And be sure to invite your family and friends to join us, and follow us on Facebook at aboutspace.today for the latest updates on the next space missions. Our Tuesday shout-out goes to Clinton and Franklin Lakes in New Jersey, who regularly enjoy and follow our podcast. And to all of our friends in the U.S. and around the globe, thank you for listening. And remember to join me Saturday morning at 11:25 on Twitch TV. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.